Hey.
All right.
Hey. So, hey, we got a bunch of stuff going on lately.
We do.
Yes. So,
Backwards or forwards? Do you want to talk rearview mirror?
Let's go back. Let's go rearview mirror.
All right. We did a podcast 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
That is up. What has happened in 2 weeks? I went to Tony Robbins.
Yes.
I went to a Tony Robbins event, and I swore I would never go to a Tony Robbins event.
And you did. And
you know, I know why I went to a Tony Robbins event?
Because it was paid for.
It was paid for. And would I go again? Yes, I would.
Well, good. Yeah.
It was.
I couldn't go to that event, but we'll get to that.
No, you had something wrong with your car battery or something. It was good. It was very good. It was one of those where I totally would not have gone on my own ever, and it was free, and I was like, let's check
So it was
it
a
out.
highlight of that event. Tony Robbins. Who is Tony Robbins? First of all, for most,
Here's what I've noticed about Tony Robbins. When you say I went to a Tony Robbins event, either people know him or they go, I have no idea who that is, and then you show them a picture of him, and they go, oh, I know who he is.
Yeah.
He's very recognizable because of his size and face and voice and whatnot. The best part of Tony Robbins was how much. Let me go backwards to give you this answer. I'm not a big touchy-feely person and whatnot, and I'm not a big mindset, but not like a if you believe you shall achieve, that type of stuff. And then, but the way that Tony Robbins breaks it down is how much of it is based off of how you are wired, like how your brain works. So he kind of gave more of the why behind the stuff. So when he goes, it's not just some hypothetical, hold this rock in your left pocket and you'll have a better fortune type stuff. He went to the roots of how your brain operates from a scientific standpoint. So for me, that was the biggest takeaway going, oh, now I can implement this stuff more because it's scientific.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does. And I think I'm intrigued by that kind of stuff.
It is. Yeah. It's patterns, neurolinguistic programming is NLP is his big thing. So it was good. Yep. So why didn't you go? Kind of backed out last minute.
Actually, it was like 2 days before where I went into some kind of a cognitive failure. So anyhow, I don't know what it is, but anyhow, it was some sort of.
Did a battery test, literally every test.
I've still got tests going on. That's why it's all lumpy in here. I got hooked up to heart monitors now, but everything's clear.
It's not the donuts.
Yeah. No, it's not the donuts.
Nice.
Well, actually, it's on the side.
That's on the side.
Yeah, so, but no, so little medical issues that they haven't found out what it is, but I've increased my cardio dramatically, and that was one of the things I asked because I still do cardio. So,
you would have had a field day in downtown Los Angeles with us.
Oh yeah, why is that?
That is an interesting place. I've been there tons of times, and it gets more interesting every single time.
Yeah, I heard there was some pretty interesting activities.
Oh my gosh, yeah,
So.
Makes me realize
the
why,
human race.
Makes me realize why I'm in Tucson.
Yeah.
Side note: what's your sock game today?
What the heck do I got? I got burgers and fries,
Nice.
and you got dill pickles. Those are actually sweet. I like those.
So, we had an awards ceremony last week, and I have funny socks, but
like your
I don't
grandpa.
wear them. I don't wear them every day.
Solid black,
and they're mainly I got a couple funny socks that have words on them, but other than that, they're just funny colors, kind of typically. And I wear a lot of boots, so I don't wear dress socks. Somehow I won the award. Somehow I snatched the award out of your hands.
Yeah.
And
You did. Dude, I was actually sitting there pulling up my socks, getting ready to walk up there.
Yeah.
And then you just swept in and took
I wasn't even there.
It's like, wah, wah, wah.
So it was good. So we wanted to talk a little bit today about customer service.
Yeah, that was.
So what has been some of the most recent amazing customer service?
Well, we talked about that a little bit, not in detail, but that's kind of what we're going to do here a little bit. But and why it's important. I mean, I think that's the thing. I think we're in an industry right now with real estate that I think customer service is more important now than ever. I mean, don't get me wrong; it was important before. However, it's important because of the reputation.
Yeah.
You know, in this industry is just, it's livelihood is, it's just built on reputation and the longevity of it. And I think just recently I had I don't want to say an opportunity, but it was. I stayed at the VA hospital overnight and, stayed there for 2 days. And I will tell you, I know that there's been a lot of stuff in the media year over year that I've seen about the reputation of the VA that was, not so good. It was actually pretty negative.
It was all over the news.
Yes. I will tell you, hands down, they've got their stuff together.
That's awesome.
Now, here's the thing. I don't know if that's on a national level, but I know that the Tucson VA hospital there, they've got it together.
That's awesome.
And I think a lot of it is just the simple things that we typically overlook sometimes or rush through, which they didn't rush through, and they kind of collectively worked as a team. Staff, the janitors, the nurses, doctors, everybody.
Now, was it
everybody
any big event that you're like, oh, this is the best customer service, or was it a bunch of small little ones?
It was not. It was basically, they said they were going to do something and they did it. Okay, that's one thing. Follow through with what you say. Yeah. But it was in a timely manner, and it was in a way that they would explain things in a way that it was just very simple. And and you could tell that the people liked doing what they were doing.
Gotcha.
And that meant a lot. That really did. I mean, you could tell that they were really intrigued. Not really intrigued, but they were embedded in their work. And they knew that they were there because the people that came in, such as myself, that's why they were there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it was class act. I tell you that.
That's
the
awesome.
Follow-up, everything. Just phenomenal. And so I was pretty impressed.
Besides that, what are some places that we typically think of for phenomenal customer service?
You know what? That's a good question. I think that what we look at, and I'm going to go on a national level.
Okay.
I mean, some people talk about Southwest Airlines.
Yep.
I think that's one of them. When they talk customer service, it's relating to the people. I'll even look at our own industry. We have individual agents that are performing some great customer service. Then I also look at, hotel chains, Ritz-Carlton, their follow-up service there, their customer service there is paramount. And I think what it is, it's more relationship bound now than ever. That's what customer service is, knowing about the person and being able to relate to them.
Especially if you're buying something that you can get online. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? You just mentioned that. Netflix. Is that not customer service? They're providing you exactly what you want based off your behavior. And I think that's key. Uber's another one.
For sure. Do you think that good customer service sticks out now even more than ever because of how great they are, or because of the mirroring image of how bad customer service can be?
I think it stands out more now, and then also if you're not getting customer service,
gotcha.
It will stand out as well. It's not just because you don't get what you want; it's just how were you treated in that process.
Yeah.
I think that stands out more than anything right now.
Would you be willing to pay a little bit more for something for awesome customer service?
Absolutely, hands down.
Yeah.
And I think what it is, it's allowing the consumer, no matter what industry you're in, to have their say.
Gotcha.
In the process. Here's the deal. Southwest Airlines, you pick your seat.
Yeah.
Just point blank. If you're the first one to sign in, you get to pick your seat. If you want to pay a little bit more, you pick your seat. Bags, they're not nickel and diming you. 2 bags are free.
Yep.
So therefore your airfare, when you look at things, it just, nobody wants to be nickel and dime, and nobody wants any surprises, period.
Yeah.
And
absolutely. I think you know what you're going to get. That's why
it's clear. It's clarity. Yeah.
Like my absolute favorite place to eat, because I'm an American, is In-N-Out Burger, right? And we look at standardization of customer service. I grew up in California, so I've literally I'm not one of these people that like, is it Shake Shack? Is it Whataburger?
Yeah.
I'm not communist. And it's In-N-Out Burger, and grew up with it. And from when I was born, eating In-N-Out Burger till 2 days ago I had In-N-Out Burger, I don't think I've ever had a bad experience at In-N-Out Burger.
Well, they focus on customer service.
And
they pay them
I was just going to say that.
pay them.
I can remember like 10 years ago, or even just further back, 20 years ago, that it's a hamburger joint, and they were making like $15 an hour 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it goes back to what you were saying before: is people enjoy working there because they're getting compensated well, and it comes across in their product as well.
Yep.
You know, it's consistent.
Well, if you take care of the people take care of you, and they got to understand what the root of it is the clientele.
What's the worst? What's some of the worst customer experience you've ever had?
Oh, and you got me thinking here. Oh gosh. Oh, you know what? I was at a restaurant the other night, and it was just the absolute horrible attitude, not of the waitress or the staff that was there. It was the individual that was at the cashier.
Yeah.
And it was all said and done. I'm just like, wow, you know, just that. And it's sad because it's almost like they're the front of the business.
Yeah.
You can have phenomenal service all the way around. The next thing you know, you go up and you have one person, you know, that rots the whole bushel.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely. That's huge, especially, and that was on the tail end. Like on the front end, when you have piss poor customer service at the front end, like you decide within 30 seconds if you're going to have a good experience or not.
You know, you took another good experience. I remember this was it was almost 2 years ago when we were out in Anaheim for a conference. And one of the individuals that we went with, Todd, left his glasses at home. I don't know if you remember that. And he ordered online through Amazon. Yeah. And I don't know, Amazon wasn't Prime. It's like Amazon like now.
Amazon
like right
hour.
now.
Yeah.
And anyhow, he ordered that, and he ordered a set of Ray-Bans, and literally we got to the Airbnb, and there was a box sitting out front. This was like literally 2 hours later. Yeah.
It was crazy.
And then he opened up the box, and the box was empty. And he's like, what the heck? You know, did somebody steal these or whatever? And then so he called them right away, and then literally within an hour,
they were there.
They were there again with no extra charge. Enough, it was just done.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's pretty impressive. You know, and you think about it as like, could people maliciously work that system? Yes, they could. Yeah. However, I think they listen to them, you know, and I think that's what customer service is. Just listen to the people and figure out what they want and help accommodate them within certain boundaries, you know.
I think where a lot of businesses fail, and maybe even individuals fail, is they feel like their job is not a customer service job.
Oh yeah. Yep, I can see that.
Like they go,
they're just doing their job.
I work at an assembly line, or I'm on the computer all day and I don't talk to anybody on the phone. There still is parts of your job that's customer service.
Correct. You know, are they working, you know, with purpose or passion? Yeah. You know, and then that resonates. It does. It really does.
Yeah. Customer service goes a long way, and especially in Tucson. Like, so Tucson, and people still use Yelp in Tucson all the time. I get that. But in a lot bigger cities, like Phoenix, for example, just 2 hours from us, it is so expansive and so big that marketing and everything else plays a key part, commercials, whatnot. I always use my father-in-law as an example of this. My father-in-law owns a plumbing company. It's just himself. He has literally spent not a penny on advertising or marketing. He doesn't even have signs for his truck. Like, it's just a white plumbing truck. Yet he can work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and still have a backlog of 2 or 3 weeks of clients because of his customer service and word of mouth.
Correct. Now, what happens if you start to slip on that customer service?
Right.
If somebody feels they've been taken advantage of, that can infect your business. So you've got to make sure that you I call it kill the monster when it's small.
It does. Like,
if something happens.
And bad customer service typically sticks out, and we remember it more than good customer service. Like, we can all bring up people of a bad experience we had, and it's top of mind. Like, we can think of a restaurant and go, oh, they got horrible customer service, or it's slow, or whatnot. House painters, landscape, or whatever.
And it's sometimes going that little extra mile. Just that one step more, you know.
I have a funny extra mile story. It might be slightly inappropriate, but nobody's listening.
Okay, let's go for it.
Jenny's in the room, so her face is going to turn red. So,
As long as the HR department doesn't call us in.
Jenny and I, no, it's all science. Jenny and I decided a couple years back to get the vasectomy because that was a team decision.
Oh, you know what? I saw a bunch of cakes that were made for.
That's funny.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny.
And little scissors on the top.
So talking about going the extra mile, right? So it's medical, so it's not cheap. You pay everything, and
I mean, you didn't do it in the garage?
No, my brother offered, and believe it or not, it was a very low price, and alcohol was involved and everything else. And
see, that's when you sit back and you have an audience
and duct tape.
Duct tape.
Yeah, rusty scissors. So we go in and like, this is not a cheap event. This is expensive, and it's a sensitive
area.
I was gonna go with event, but area too. Like, no. You have to mentally prepare yourself for this, right? It's not like you're going to go and like...
Oh, no, you do have to mentally prepare.
Yeah, big time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's expensive. There's tools and everything like that. And I think of like just going the extra mile. And I'm only going to say one sentence, but the individual that was there to help shows up with literally, if I were to say a 99-cent Bic razor, that would be over...
Oh, so it was literally like...
It was like they Googled cheap dull razor and then bought the 1,000 of them.
When it's been sitting like in a glove compartment.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Like, yeah, it was horrible. It was one of the worst.
Customer service
experience. The vasectomy was a breeze after that. And I'm just like going above and beyond, being like, for the thousands of dollars, could we not get a Gillette Mach 3?
Yes.
Something like that. Just going the that's a funny example, but going the extra mile, getting like out Starbucks one time. I was meeting somebody there, and we were chit-chatting. We had ordered our drinks, and they had called my name out. It was busy, and the coffee had been sitting there for a little bit, and I went up to grab it, and they go, "Let us make you a new one that's hot." Right? Like, they didn't have to do that. It's the little things that make a big difference. I know that Jenny, for example, again, Jenny's huge on customer service. She always tells us when she's had a great experience of one of the 20 things she
I think
bought
there's a lot of
off
things to learn
Instagram
from that
day.
you know?
Absolutely.
So did you ever go back with like a pack of razors, like to go, hey guys, just FYI for future reference?
I am not talking about my experience of when I had to go back. That is a whole different conversation that we are not having online whatsoever.
There we go. Yeah.
What companies are known for awesome customer service?
I think Zappos. Zappos was one of them, to where they what the heck was it? They're in Vegas. I know that. Their concept behind everything was the individuals that work in their call center. Their job was actually talking to clientele.
Yep.
And ultimately, it was based off talk time. It's not like hurry up and get them off the phone, done. It was
gotcha.
It was embedding themselves in conversation, finding out what really mattered to the client, and then getting them what they want and matching up with different products maybe, or they went out and searched different venues and purchased it from them to sell it to them at the price that they offered them.
Yeah.
So if they didn't have it. So I think Zappos was one of them. Do some research on Zappos. I thought that was a brilliant piece. And, you look at their work environment, the people there were extremely happy.
Yeah.
I think with a lot of the sharing of sources and information right now, I think there's a lot of people that's their passion, and it's not typically what you would relate it to as money. So I think there's a lot of people that are willing to do things to have an impact on this world that means more to them than the actual flow of money, because you can do one thing and you get a lot of money for it, but then again, now you're in a dry spell.
For sure.
So
for sure.
I think it's pretty interesting to see where the world is going with the technology piece on that.
What about real estate wise? What companies have we dealt with in real estate that have had phenomenal customer service?
What companies?
Or
I think one of the lenders that we deal with has some pretty darn good customer service.
Yeah.
And you say, well, what does that mean though? Well, he'll answer his phone. As simple as that may be.
So talking about I'm assuming you're talking about Paul.
Yes.
So we've had Paul on the podcast. Paul is the type of individual that will lose money, meaning like he worked for closing a loan and something happened, not in his regard, but something with the deal in general. And
beyond the scope of what
beyond the scope of what he can control. I've seen him lose money before, right? Because if you're not making money, you still have bills to pay, so you're actually losing money. To close it for the client.
Exactly. It's all about the client. So then you
Yeah.
just kind of got to figure that one out there.
And how much time does Paul have to spend on the phone trying to find new clients?
Yeah.
One of the definitions of leadership we talk about is when people knock on your door.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to go out and find new clients. Like his phone rings more inbound than it does outbound.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing is once you just got to keep continuing the service at that high level.
Yeah.
And he does. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So another industry, what would you think?
Trying to think. Phenomenal customer service. I have always had phenomenal customer service. Or if I've not had it, it's been made up for. I know we all use Marriott Rewards. If I've ever had a bad experience, I can call and it gets fixed.
Yeah, I had to cancel, and it was outside the time period to where cancel for something medical, but they were real good about it.
Another one was Tony Robbins.
Yes, they did. They reschedule, which is great, and they didn't have to.
Yeah, Tony Robbins, their whole stuff, their whole organization of how they did stuff was absolutely phenomenal. You and I have both been at big conferences and conventions where it's just a nightmare. Like when you get above 10,000 people in one area at one time, it just is chaos.
Yes, it is.
There's 15,000 people there in Los Angeles for 4 or 5 days, and they're checking in 15,000 people in a 24-hour period is a lot.
Yep.
They just nailed it. Absolutely nailed it.
Yeah. Wasn't their first rodeo.
There was issues with one of the tickets with James and his name on it, whatnot. They took care of it right away. Walked through the process.
That's good.
It was good. It was very good. What about some shout outs?
You know what? One of the individuals I really want to kind of give some props to is he's a guy that's on our team, Eric Robeson.
Done an interview with him as well.
Yes, he's just on his game right now. I think he's in a very good place mentally, and I think business wise, definitely. But you could tell that he is in a good spot.
Yeah.
Just not only conversations, but he's just totally engaged. He's plugging in.
Not the loudest one in the group.
No, he's not. No, he's not. But I tell you what, you talk about that consistency.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. And so all the dominoes have lined up right now for him, which is just it's really exciting for him.
Just for the most part, just even keeled. He's
the guy you want in your corner, though.
Yeah. Yeah, he's the guy that you don't want to meet in a dark alley.
That's right.
But if you're in a dark alley, you want him behind you.
Bar fight, he's the one that you want in the corner.
Yes.
Yep.
For sure. He's your one dial.
That's right.
My shout outs would be, so we are officially in the swing of Little League. Last night we had 2 baseball practices and 1 softball practice. And the stars aligned. It was all at the same park, which never happens. Oh my gosh, yes. Not necessarily a shout out for an individual, but just the coaches that are out there that sacrifice their time. They don't get paid for it, and they deal with parents. That's always fun. The coaches that take care of people, and there's a lot of people who are not fortunate to have somebody that's in their life parentally that is taking the time out. What I see from it, and it's kind of the lens I look through, is how much life lessons they're not just teaching them baseball and softball.
No, they're not.
They're teaching them life lessons. It's when you throw the ball and you miss the target, what do you do next? When you get up there and you strike out, how do you react? When you win and blow the team out of the other team out of the water, how do you handle yourself in victory and defeat? those type of things. I could do a 10-hour podcast on the lessons from baseball and softball, but those coaches that are out there across the board that are just
last time I
sacrificially
checked, they're not getting paid either.
They're getting paid
doing
anything.
it because they want to do it and they're having an impact on these.
Absolutely.
On our future, if you think about it.
Yeah, matter of fact, they're coughing up their own money for stuff
a
lot of the times. So to all the little league coaches out there that are rocking and rolling, you guys are awesome.
Well, good.
So we will. I leave Friday.
You do.
Head down to Mexico again.
And I can't because I got my little wireless device that only works in the U.S. I don't know.
Doesn't translate to Spanish.
Does not.
Building a house down there. Myself, Jenny, and a couple of people on the team are going down there. Building a house, getting down there Friday.
Who else going down there? Jenny? You?
Mrs. Adams going. Juliana and her husband. Jess and her husband are going down.
Cool.
And then some other agents from
yes, they are
here, and then just some friends that we've made along the way.
That'd be a good trip.
It's gonna be a very good trip. It's gonna be awesome. It just gets better and better every time. So we'll get back. We'll do a recap of that, and then
until next time. If there's any topics anybody wants to hear,
let us know, and we'll have we'll be posting a video with Kristen Cole coming up in the next week or two.
Be
leadership coaching video with her as well.
Pulling some more interviews as well.
Yep.
So good.
All right.
On that note.
Till that time.
Later.
Peace out.